Too soon? Folks, we want to thank all of you for being here tonight. We have a lot of good comedians lined up, but most importantly, they handed you when you come in here a list of all the great sponsors who helped make this event possible. I did want to make special attention to one. American Dipper has been a big supporter of this organization and this program tonight from the word go, but for some reason their name and information was taken away from our, I know, I'm not happy about that. But I'll tell you this about American Dipper. They provide the best scrubs that you can ever buy at affordable prices and sizes up to 6X. I know this because I actually had to buy a pair of scrubs for a guy who was 6X for a film. And I was like, where am I going to go? And they said, you go to American Dipper. And sure as shit, they had a 6X scrub for this large guy. I know. Awesome. Tonight, folks, we're going to see a whole different range of people. We're going to hear a whole different range of languages. We have Jews, we have Catholics, we have Protestants, we have agnostics. All of us here in a great celebration, so you're going to hear a lot of dirty words, stuff you don't normally hear people like me say on TV, but that's the case we have. It's going to be out there. We have a lot of things like that, so if you're offended by blue language, you may just want to go ahead and leave now. But give it a chance. You guys, a lot of funny guys up here, too. One more time, I want to thank one of the other great sponsors, my fellow entertainment reporters back there in the corner. St. Joe Live, we have Shay, and we have Blake here. They are going to provide you some swag. They've got footballs, they have t-shirts, anything you want. Help these guys, because we're doing what I'm trying to do also, which is promote local entertainers, local venues, and show people that we have exactly what we need right here, and kind of fester our artistic community that we have coming here. So you guys ready to bring out our first comedian? Well, we're starting off with the arcade game. Our first comedian is one of the first members of the Shots Fired comedy group. He has hosted and he has done stand-up up and down the strip here. He's also done it in Kansas City. He also did a great set on a roast for me personally recently, where we raised about $300-400 for some second harvest relief. He's a great guy and one of the funniest men I've ever had the pleasure to meet. Slap one hand with the other. Please welcome Mr. David Allison.
You guys are pretty. Look at all of you. I've never been surrounded before. It's interesting. I don't know who to look at. That's Money's getting a drink. I usually look at her. I want to get something out of the way real quick so you guys aren't thinking it the whole time. I am not Otho from Beetlejuice. He's dead. He died like 2 months ago. I tell everyone he was my uncle. I say, Glenn Shaddix is his name. And I tell everyone that that's my mom's brother, and that her maiden name is Shaddix, and everyone believes it. But you know, Otho is gay. I'm not gay. My sound gay, but I'm not. I love vagina. I can't help it, I'm sorry. It's my second favorite flavor on the whole planet. Cheeseburgers. You can't beat a good cheeseburger. I'm serious. It's good! I will tell you though, the only thing that will beat a good cheeseburger is if you combine vagina with Mary McCheese's wife. And that's a vagina you can literally eat. It's too far. I know, it's too far. It's too far. I'm also not an interior decorator. I don't carry a spray paint with me. But one thing, I am a fat ass. Otho was a fat ass. And I'm okay with that. I've been fat since I was like 8. And that's okay. But bad things happen to fat people. We're clumsy. And I got a few stories for you. Just recently, my girlfriend's bathroom, her house is made for midgets, I swear to God. The doors, my hair touches as I walk through it. And her bathroom, has anyone seen Tommy Boy? When he's like stuck in that? That is her bathroom. The shower head is right here. And so every morning I'm like, doing this stuff. And her toilet is like pooping in a Folgers can. position myself just right. but clumsiness, I recently went to a Chiefs game. Go Chiefs! Went to a Chiefs game, and I'll joke, I'm with the lady and I'm walking, and for no apparent reason, I just tripped. And I know I'm going down. My first train of thought is, I'm taking the bitch down with me. I'm not going down by myself. She pulls away real quick, and my second train of thought is, I'm gonna ninja roll out of this. No, because I rolled, and I rolled, and I rolled, and I stopped and I'm looking straight at the sun, and she runs over, and she looks at me, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I haven't done that since I was fucking 9. And the only other horrible fat guy story I have for you is, went to World Fun this summer. Yeah. World's as skinny is more like it. And I got in line for the Patriot. It's the first thing I wanted to ride. I hadn't ridden it yet. And I'm like, I gotta ride this thing. But with the Patriot, you don't want to ride anywhere but the front. Because you're staring at someone's back of their head and you can't see where you're going at all. So I'm like, all right guys, I'm with my sister, one of her hot friends, and my roommate. And we're waiting in line, and I'm like, we have to wait in the front of the line. And it's like a 45-minute wait, because I'm not riding anywhere else. So we finally get up there, we're all getting in line, and I sit down in the thing, and I pull the thingy over me that keeps you in, I don't know what the hell it's called, harness, I guess, and it won't click. And I'm like, oh shit. And they're all like, doo-doo-doo. And the whole time I was in the line, I was worried about my shoes. I'm like, what if my shoes fall off? What about my shoes? And I kept asking the girl, what about my shoes? But she just ignored me, but it won't click. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So she comes over, and it's a nice young black girl, and I'm like, hey, it won't click, and she goes, it ain't clicking. I'm like, well, try harder, please, just try harder. And she, honey, that ain't clicking. I'm like, all right, just like, I'll suck in, and I sucked in, and I was like, I just ran into it, it'll click. And she wouldn't do it, and she looked at me, and swear to God, she said, there are big people seats in the back. And I just looked at her and said, get me off the son of a bitch right now. So not only did they have to let me out, they had to let the whole front car, they all went up. And I'm like, oh. So everyone I went with is like, we'll go with you, so I'm like, just fucking right. Right. I'm going to get me a funnel cake. And I'm putting powdered sugar on it, I'm putting chocolate, I'm putting caramel, I'm putting strawberry, put it in a fucking blender with a cheeseburger and give it to me in a cup. I'm done with this place. But for the whole rest of the day, I was like, I want to ride the front, but I don't know if I want to fit. And there was another new one, I can't remember, the Predator maybe, I don't know, and it hurt riding in, because I was in the front and I was sucked in. It was really bad. The laugh kills me. Has anyone ever had any fun run-ins with the police? Here's the deal. I have two, but I got away. Recently, it was like 3 years ago, St. Patrick's Day, and I got just completely smashed. So smashed, and I'm like, I'm gonna drive home. But first, I'm smashed and I'm hungry. So I go to the owner of the first ward, and I say, I'll give you a $50 bill for a whole slab of ribs. And he looked at me, it's like 1:45 in the morning. He looks at me, and he's like, a $50 bill? And I'm like, and I handed it to him, and he disappeared. And you all know who he is, he's a big dude. Yeah, and he wobbles to the back, and he comes out like 15 minutes later, and he hands it to me. But for some reason, I give it to my roommate to take. I don't know why, but I drive home, and I'm driving home, and taking the back roads, because that's smart when you're drunk. And the next thing I know, I'm pulled over, and the cop's knocking on my window. I don't remember pulling over. And I rolled the window down and I said, hello? And he said, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm like, I don't. And he said, your back license plate's out. And I'm like, oh, shit. So he walks away, gave me my information. The whole time I'm going, my ribs! I'm going to jail. I'm not going to get my $50 ribs. And so what do? I call a buddy that's a cop. and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, it's his night off, and he answers the phone, and I'm like, I'm going to jail. And he was like, what for? What'd you do? And I'm like, I'm grown, dude, and I'm driving. And then he was like, are you pulled over? And I'm like, I am pulled over. And he was like, well, that's not good. What did they pull you over for? And I was like, back license plate light. And he goes, bullshit. That's a lie. That is a bullshit thing. And he's like, when he comes back, ask him to see it. And I'm like, okay. He's like, even if you wobble to go see it, go ask him. So he gets back, I'm like, hey, I didn't even know that I could change that bulb. I didn't, can you show me that? And he was like, and he showed me and it was on. And as soon as I was like, well, it's not out, why'd I get pulled over? My phone went, put him on the phone. So I went like this, and he's like, who is it? And I said, your boss. So not only did I not get the DWI, because I have not driven drunk since, I swear to God, not a single time, but he got in trouble. That game's called I Win. So another question, how many people have ever gotten in a real bad fight with your significant other? Yeah, raise your hand. Oh, no. Baby, I love you. We don't fight. Liars. I'm on stage and I have a mic and I'm going to tell you about my whole thing. Get drunk. She's drunk too. We get home. Something dumb happens. We start screaming back and forth and it ends up to, how many guys have you fucked? That's where it escalated to. I don't know how. And she comes at me like she's going to hit me and I'm fucking out of there and I'm screaming. And when she gets mad, she's all nice and sweet, but when she gets mad, this girl's from Union Star. You ain't worth nothing. No one ever loved you. Jesus hates you. Don't get out of my house. Go on, you worthless piece of shit. Don't go, baby. I love you. Don't go. Go get. And I run out the door, and she's in her nightgown with no shoes on and running after me. And then we've been at it for like 20 minutes. And next thing I know, I see a cop car. And as soon as I saw the cop car, I'm like, I love you so much. Why don't you have shoes on? You're going to be Splinter. I love you. And the cop car, of course, whoop, whoop. Oh, shit. So he's like, you guys fighting? And I was like, yeah. He let us go. He said that we both had been drinking and it didn't get physical. I said, she told me I was a worthless piece of shit and Jesus hated me, but it's all good. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I love you, Stevie. She told her parents that story on Thanksgiving. That is a great Thanksgiving story. And her dad just doing this until she says police, he goes. So I work actually across the street at the Rendezvous. I'm a bartender over there on the weekend. Rendezvous. Snake bite as well. We love the snake bite. That's my second bar. But I work at the booth. But let me tell you, bartending, the customers that you get bartending. Oh man. Especially downtown, because you get the river. The river is the asset to downtown. But my favorite are like the weird guys that come in. We have one weird guy who comes in and he talks like this. And he says, I want a water with grenadine, more grenadine than water, please, sir. 1 ice cube, not 2. I'll have you reheat it. And then I give it to him and he sets at the bar and he just goes and drinks it. So the whole time I'm bartending for 2 hours, this guy just going, watching me. Non-stop. And I'm always like watching my back, I don't know what's going on. And then we have the girls come in. Most of the girls that come in are awesome. They get, just vodka, cokes, and, all that rum and cokes and beer and stuff like that. But every once in a while, you get that, oh my God, can I get some service, please? Juice. I'm like, what can I help you? And she's like, I would like a Saturday night sparkling moon juice with a twist in New Jersey. Por favor. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? She goes, cranberry juice. Just get it. We don't have cranberry juice. Oh my God. Just give me a Saturday night sparkling moon juice with a twist of New York then. What's that? Orange juice. Okay, I got that. And then the whole time I have weird guys staring at me. she's going, hello, excuse me, please, service, the whole time. And then I hit the river. And we call him Rodney.
And he talk like this, baby. Hey man, what's up, baby? You can buy me a beer, man? I'm a Vietnam vet, son. I get my check next week. I'll come in, I'll find you, man. I'll buy you 10 beers. You buy me 1 beer tonight.
And they always have this random Walmart bag full of shit. Like, I don't even like a half-eaten pickle. A broken cell phone charger. Pamphlets from the Holiday Inn, like they sit down there and dream about it.
Hey man, that shit's fucked up, man. Don't say that. That's cold-blooded.
Oh my god, please, jeez.
Hey baby, what's going on?
Oh my god, renovated water, please. So, obviously I've done voices my whole life, and then, I just do it all the time, but working at FYE in the mall when that was still open, my current roommate was one of my assistant managers, and he always didn't give me an option. He just would dial and say, Chance, prank. And so I invented this character. He's not gay, let's get that straight. He's married to a 500-pound woman named Michelle. He dresses her up like a baby doll. It's weird. But his name is Crystal. And Crystal talks like this. Listen, bitch. I am sassy, but I'm good to go. Don't worry about me. So he's like, Champs, go. And Derek, who was the manager there, answers the phone. And he's like, Champs. I'm like, Derek, emergency. I need 2 chartreuse jerseys for tomorrow. 1 my size, 1 the size of a puppy. And he's like, chartreuse? I'm like, it's a teal. Anything teal. Something with patches on it so I can take it off because it's for my show and we have to do this right now. I ain't got that. Like, he looks over and sees Justin. If you know Justin laughs like this. Behind the counter. Keep in mind, I'm the general manager of the store. Why they put me in charge of anything, I don't know. And then the next one, I think it was like the next day, he goes, singular, go. So I'm like, I just go like this. Listen, mister, I come and buy a photo from you. And it's the manager working, it's a female. But the guy I just bought it for just got off and he was like a giant pothead. Like his eyes were always red and glazed over. And I just bought a phone from you and it will not work. What is wrong with it? And the gentleman that sold it to me smelled like pot. And she goes, excuse me? And I'm like, he smelled just like pot. Like what? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then my last and final story again involves Crystal, and it's when, in between Christmas and New Year's, we were in the car, and it's after the bar, and my roommate says, let's go get some moons over my hand. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, Denny's, go. Answer the phone. So I'm like, I don't know, let's just say her name is Dina, I don't know, answers the phone. I'm like, Dina girl, I need moons over my handy, pronto. How was your Christmas? And she's like, it was horrible, I had to work. And I said, girl, that is the pits. That is just the absolute worst. And I was like, I need moons over my handy and I need them right now. There's no fucking around. Like, I'm gonna be there in 5 minutes, have them ready, please, right now. And Justin's losing it. And I'm like, what about New Year's? And she's like, I have to work then too. I'm like, girl, that is just the pits. The pits, but the good news is Santa loved me. He gave me everything I wanted. And then my last and final story, and I'm going to leave you all to the next comment. Yeah! Roommate again. He's been best friends with me for 6 years, with me. And like I'll be sitting there watching TV and I just BAM! And the remote goes. He's always kicking shit out of my hand. I can have a pop in my hand and he kicks it out of my hand. He'll clean it up, but it's the fact that he just wants to kick shit out of my hand. And so I'm sitting there, I get home from the bar again. God, first of all, I'm gonna say, before I even start this is my first sober show I've ever done. I'm usually can't even know where I'm from. Don't judge. Listen, I'm going back to it. I just want to see if I can do it. Water's boring. I need some whiskey. But so I can't do it. I decided to give revenge, but it just came instantly. I put popcorn in the microwave, and I held it, I was shaking it, and I saw it in his eyes. I fucking saw it. And he was coming at me, and he went, swear to God, he went to kick it, and I went, whoop, and he flew in the air. He followed it, grabbed the refrigerator doors, and was opening and slamming as he was going down. We have concrete floors, and it hits his back and head on the ground, and he just lays there. And I'm like, shit. And I walk over, and without skipping a beat, I look, I'm like, are you alright? He goes, you're losing me like I was some kind of Charles Brown. Alright, that's all I got, everyone. Thank you very much.
Do you have any idea where the bathroom is for you?
It's through like those panel walls over there.
The panel walls?
Yeah.
She wants a bead?
Yes.
She just wants one bead. What are you going to do for the bead? A panic look in her eyes. Before we get too distracted, one more hand for the great David Allison. If you want the bead, I have to put it on you. I'm sorry. We made such a production about it now. Our first Festivus queen. All hail the queen. Our next queen coming up is a veteran also of the Shots Fired Comedy Crew. He is a true Renaissance man. He has come from a background of theater and Shakespeare, and the other part of his life, he is a serving soldier in our U.S. infantry. We are so proud to have this man. He has been on the stages here locally and for years in the Kansas City circuit to great places like Stanford and Sons and Laugh-Ins. Here is our good friend. Give it up for Ryan Gerstner.
I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Thank you, Matt. I won't stop believing. Hey, this is great, man. This is the first place we work that doesn't have a drain before. Yeah, no more honky tonks for us, huh? Right smack dab in the middle of the holidays. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Good. I had a traditional Irish Thanksgiving. 7-course meal, 6 pints of Guinness and a potato. It's good times. You guys have some deer meat? That's a big thing here. Deer meat. No, everybody's making faces. Yeah, I know. The closest thing I ever got to hunting was watching Bambi as a kid. And we love some beads, Bob. Over there. There you go. Sorry. Let's start this one off good, right? Yeah, the closest thing I ever got to hunting was watching Bambi. And you know why there's a big flourish of music when Bambi's mother gets shot? So you don't hear a hunter go, damn, I got it! Yeah. I like that one too. I'm sorry my voice is a little rough tonight. I went out drinking last night. Yeah! Thank you very much. Ended up turning into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass. Wake up this morning with 15 text messages. Some of them are asking me how I got home. Some of them are from women telling me I'm a bastard. Some from dudes telling me I'm hilarious. They're related. Yeah. That killed the legends. You guys are sober. But I was going to have that phone call in the morning where you have to do the, remember the anti-weed commercials? The phone call in the morning? I'm sorry, I totally did not mean to get that drunk. I apologize. Well, did she get it out of there? Where did I get a blowtorch? I'll buy her a new puppy. I like to travel. I get to travel a lot. Last spring I went to Korea, and I learned a new phrase in Korean while I was there. It means, I like you, but I don't understand you, and I wish to walk away now. Okay, thank you. I'm interested in language. I like languages. I tried the Italian Rosetta Stone, but it was boring, man. I didn't learn the key phrases I wanted to learn, like get in the trunk, hit him with the bat, leave the guns, and the cannoli. I get to travel a lot. I don't get to stay in the nice hotels though. We don't make money, so I got to stay in the ones that are way off the freeway. I've noticed that the crappier hotel, the better the safe is. That's really being upfront about the housekeeping, isn't it? They don't need this. I'm not protecting my diamonds. I'm not going there to hide my stash. Look how they bounce on the vibrating bed and shine. That'll put their shit in the safe because I'm stealing it. I'm taking it. It's not bolted down. It's mine. I'm taking the remote control just to be an asshole. They want to help me out and put an extra lock on the door to protect my windpipe while I sleep. It's better use of my money. I promise that if I ever really make it in this business, I will be the king of all tabloids. I will do crazy shit for no damn reason. I will get drunk, drive a Greyhound. Not the bus. I know that if I shake my head, I already look like Bad Boy found in cave. I see you looking at my eyes, lady. I was born with eyes this big. When I was a baby, I looked like that big-eyed goldfish in the pet store nobody buys. I'm allergic to cats. I've got a severe cat allergy if it's not cooked correctly. I sure am. If you want to piss off your cat, just put a little scotch tape on his paws. We'll leave him on an on-ramp. That tape does not come off. When you're holding the door for people, it's absolutely necessary that they touch it when they walk through. What do you think I'm going to do? Wait till they get really close and just nail them with it really quick? That half-ass door touch is not going to stop me if I want to. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Everybody else can go home. It's you and me. It's you and me right here. I'm done. No more nerd tonight. I can no longer pretend that I'm a cool guy who just happens to know thousands of movie quotes. I want to be a badass, I really do. I would love to be a badass, man. You know, I want to like take a match and strike it on my cheek and light a cigar. I'm not going to look like a badass if I do that. Now with a big red mark across my cheek, and a tear running down my eye, choking on a cigar. You know you're a nerd if you've ever done the Darth Vader finger when you walk through an automatic door. Or if you walk into a door that you thought was automatic. I was a guest judge at the Special Olympics Winter Games, and the only person to fall down on the ice that year. I count the beginning of a relationship to be when a girl starts leaving stuff in your place, like a hairbrush, a CD, or her kids from a previous relationship that ended in incarceration. I think in order to interrogate a woman, all you really need is a light switch. Well, as soon as you turn that light on, her mouth starts running, doesn't it? She had all day to talk to you. Those few hours that you're going to get between you stop buying her drinks at the bar and you got to go to work, that's when she wants to talk about pets that were dead before your relationship started, relatives that you don't know, ambitions for a relationship that's going to end if she doesn't shut her mouth. I think every man's fantasy is two women, because a housework gets done twice as fast, doesn't it, fellas? It does. I like that. I don't know. That was for me. I think the greatest job in the world would be the squirrel homicide detective. A homicide detective for squirrels. Car. a candle in it. It wasn't one of those cute little birthday candles either, with a big fat pillar candle. It's got 3 wicks in it. Completely crushed my Twinkie. Mom gave me a check for my birthday this year, so I went out to cash it for a few days. $5. I can't go back to work in retail. This is it. Yeah, if this doesn't work, I'm done. I'm gonna be drinking paint thinner in the gutter. I used to sell TVs at Sears. Yeah, I go and deliver them for people, plug them in and everything, and this gal, she argued with me, told me that this was not the TV that I bought. And I checked the receipt. This is the one that you bought, man. This is your signature right here. She says, no, the one in the store had 127 channels. Those are the same type of people that stand outside of their burning house trying to flag down the fire department. Like they got to your block and couldn't figure out which house was on fire, right? Standing outside trying to make helicopters honk. I've always walked that thin line between sweet and creepy. I think I know what the difference is. It's about 15 pounds. I'm a food addict. I love food. When I have problems, I have cheeseburgers. You know, smokers are addicts too, but they figured out a solution. Is they're addicted to smoking, they come up with a patch. That's all I want, really. A food addict patch. Some bologna and duct tape. Lets meaty goodness just seep into my bloodstream. What? Chipotle? Yes! Wouldn't fit under my sleeve. But thank you for participating in the show. I don't eat healthy, I don't, because small fries equals small happiness. You remember the commercial where Jared has a Subway sandwich and he's got a Big Mac, and he keeps telling you how bad the Big Mac is for you? Was that not the best looking Big Mac you've ever seen in your life? I truly wanted a Big Mac after this was over. Why would they not show the one you actually get through the drive-thru? There's really no meat on it, sauce all over the box, big thumbprint at the top on it. They can do that to you in the drive-thru. They know you're not coming back around. It's not any better if you go inside. If you go inside, you get abused in there too. Obviously, you're motivated enough to get out of your vehicle, so here's an empty cup. You're fill it yourself. Get your own condiments too, overachiever, too good to stay in your car. I hate it when they bring me my burger like it was in their pocket on the way to the drive-thru window. How hard is it to get my 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun with a motherfucking bin in the middle, y'all? McDonald's urban advertising. A mother flipping bun in the middle, y'all. I feel too white to eat there now. Like I'm gonna pull up to the drive-thru one of these days and somebody's gonna come over there. What's up, bitch? What's your crack ass want? Image is everything when you're trying to meet new people in the bar, and your clothes and your hair say the most about you. And I want to project to women the image of a guy who is honest and loyal and trustworthy. And it is damn hard to find a Boy Scout uniform my size. I moved into my new apartment. I no longer have any roommates at all, which is cool, but I'm going to have to buy my own beard trimmer if I want to continue to shave my junk. I did that joke in Kansas City once and it ended up on YouTube, and my roommate called me up after that, my ex-roommate, and he says, do I need to buy a new beard trimmer, or better yet, do you need to buy me a new beard trimmer? I said, no man, not you, the roommate before you. Total lie, it was his beard trimmer. And if he sees this on YouTube, we're going back around again. I heard in Missouri that they're modifying sobriety check to whether or not you sing along to Piano Man and how you feel emotionally about Taco Bell. Everybody miss the local strip clubs? Yeah. I do too. Let's get them back here, except this time let's do it without the pregnant strippers. I had to look away from the stage. I could not put $1 up there because the image in my head was that I put $1 up there and a little hand would come out and grab it. I can't handle that kind of behavior. Normally I like a little flexible morality, You guys like country music? I've heard the trailer too. I like country music. I don't understand all these songs from the women that are so angry. They just want to shoot a guy in the face with a shotgun. So many songs. I'm going to pop his tires and then stab him. Just walk away. Are you really that heavily invested into your collection of shot glasses, NASCAR Christmas ornaments, and broken dreams? Just pack up your autographed t-shirts and leave. I'm glad I got cable turned back on. Yeah, I got money. I get to watch my favorite channel, the Sci-Fi Channel. Sci-Fi Channel sponsored by Vagisil. Yeah. Which is just further proof that women are not from this planet. And I get to watch my favorite show, which is Scare Tactics. Oh, I get inspired. I just want to run at somebody you know with a knife and a stabbing motion. Get real close to them and go, are you scared? They go, yes, I'm scared. So you shouldn't be, you're on Scare Tactics. So they start laughing and looking around for the cameras, and then you stab them to death. Greatest practical joke ever. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. I've had a great time with you. I'm going to bring Bob Schultz up here. Let's give a clap for Bob Schultz.
God, he is short. Sorry, Ryan. Jeez. Hey, before we get rolling anymore, folks, need more comedians, I need to have an announcement to make and some housekeeping. There is a cell phone that is missing right now. Did you find it? Over here? No. Oh, no. What color is it? That's an excellent question. It's blue. Do you? It's a Behold the Festivus miracle. The found cell phone.
I was going to turn it in after the show. I want Ron to
Wonderful. All is happy. And I didn't have to mention that you left it in the crapper. At all.
I touched it, I saw my penis. And then as soon as my hands went down, I was just like, scared the shit out of me. So here's a stupid question. Are you guys drinking? Yeah, good. I was driving up here and I saw a billboard. They have that new Southern Comfort with lime, some coat with lime. And it says, okay, it's a liquor ad, but it says, drink Southern Comfort responsibly. Has anybody ever heard a Southern Comfort story that had anything to do with something responsible happening? Nobody's sitting around like, oh, dude, remember that time we drank all that Southern Comfort? Oh, yeah, we did your taxes early. Oh, and those sorority bitches came over. Yeah, we sorted all my recyclable stuff. Southern Comfort can't advertise like that. They gotta do baby steps and make it gradual, like Southern Comfort. Next time, punch fewer cops. Southern Comfort. Maybe you only fuck half the team. It's simple, it's innocent, you know? So here, I don't know any of you folks, you seem very nice. Here's a little getting to know you. Worst hangover you ever had in your life. What were you drinking? Beer? Tequila? Oh yeah. So, I don't know how rural we are. Is there some moonshine people? Yeah? I always like this because there's always some quiet girls in the back. There's like, pills. But honestly, I've got everybody beat. Worst hangover ever. My 18th birthday. I stayed up all night with a buddy of mine. Drank a bottle of Jägermeister and a $5 box of red wine. It was a mixed drink. We called it the inevitable. And it was one of those deals where I got fucked up and passed out so fast, I didn't remember that I had started drinking. I just woke up and didn't know what happened. And for a little while, I was really worried that I had had a quantum leap. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to be Huey Lewis and I'm going to have to use my singing to save an orphanage or some shit. But I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I'm not Huey Lewis, okay. Oh, I got fucked up last night. I got fucked up and I dyed my beard purple. Oh, I threw up in my sleep. But I'm really upbeat tonight. I'm in a good mood. I found out my big sister had a baby. Yeah, I was real happy about that. I've got some other nieces and nephews, but it made me really want to work hard to be a better uncle, you know? Because uncles are special, you know? Because you want to be the badass in the family, but you still legally want to be allowed around the kids. It's like when I was little, on one side was like my Uncle Jack, who I only saw every few years, and he would ride into town on his dune buggy, and he'd be like, hey Troy, how old are you now? 3? Whatever, here's a beer and a switchblade, see ya. And I thought he was awesome. Found out later mom hated him. And on the other end of the spectrum was my Aunt Marie, who was the sweetest old lady in the world. She was like 150 when I was born. And I thought it was so funny, you know, you're a little kid, the first time you get to play with a whoopee cushion. Oh, it's the funniest thing in the world, but not with Aunt Marie because she was so old, she just farted out. And there was no joke. You know, especially when you're a little kid, you had to orchestrate the whoopee cushion. You had to hide it, you had to trick people, and she would sit down and you'd go off, and she was like, sorry, I dropped some ass. So, I was trying, my little niece, Shannon, was playing with a whoopee cushion, and she's like, I'll play with a whoopee cushion with me, Uncle Troy. And I was like, okay, and I was trying to think of something really clever to do with the whoopee cushion. I'm the next generation, you know? I was like, so what I did, I was like, hey, Shannon, look at this. And I held up the whoopee cushion and acted like I squeezed it, but really farted. And she was like, what was that? And I said, that is called ventriloquism. She's a sharp kid, I like that. So I had a weird thing happen. I was at a business meeting at a restaurant. It was a loan officer. Any mortgage people? For those, there might be one or two that aren't in the business. Here's how it works. Whenever you're at that job, whenever I get at my desk, everybody has a secretary with big
my secretary had huge tits, and I would wear a three-piece suit with a vest and a top hat and a monocle, and I'd have a cigar, and every once in a while she would walk by and I'd slap her on the butt and say, ha cha cha. And occasionally, the phone would ring and you'd pick it up and go, what? What? Bullshit! And you hang it up. And that's how you get an officer. So anyways, I'm at this business meeting, we're at a fancy restaurant, they have the floor-to-ceiling windows, big thunderstorm outside. Storm cleared up, it got sunny, and there was this giant, perfect rainbow. And I was like, oh, just earlier that day, my wife was going, you know, I haven't seen a rainbow all year. I would love to see my first rainbow. So I was being a thoughtful husband, pulled out my phone, started taking pictures of it, didn't think about it. And then a lady was walking out of the restaurant, and she put her arm around me, and the guy I'm sitting next to, she's like, hey, did you guys see the rainbow? And I was like, did I? I took like 3 pictures of it. And she's like, yeah, it is so perfect for you too. And I laughed. And I was just, I'm naive, so I was like, well, she's really nice. Oh, dude, she thinks we're fucking. And I said the gayest thing possible. Like, oh, did I? I got like 3 pictures of it. The only way that could have been gayer is if I was actually going down on her when she walked over. And I was just like, oh? Yeah, I took like 3 pictures of it. Been there. I've had some crappy jobs in the past. I used to, years ago, I used to be a cook at a Mexican restaurant, which was pretty cool, but the girl I was dating, she came to see me one day. And she went around to the back of the restaurant, you know, because she knows I cook, and she saw my coworker, Gerardo, was outside dumping garbage cans. And she saw him, and she saw that he was Latino. And I was just like, hey, hola. Can you go get Troy? Troy? Blanco Grande? Go get him! And he's kind of, and he ducks his head inside the door and he's like, hey Troy, who's your girlfriend's out here? She's talking like she's really high. And I went outside to see her. I was so happy to see her. She was all done up. She had like the sparkly lipstick on, like she just got done blowing an elf, you know? And she had the little, like, a lot of guys go crazy with these, like the little track shorts. And she was, yeah, like she's facing me, but you know, across the butt in cursive it said like skank. Like, it makes my heart flutter. And so I gave her a big hug. I said, hey, baby, how you doing? And she's like, well, hey, I just want to come see you and say hi and let you know I've got a little surprise for you when you get off work. And I was like, surprise? What is it? And she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you. It's a surprise. But you're the only one that's going to get to see it. And I was like, oh, she shaved it. Santa got my letter after all. And I was so happy. I gave her a big hug and I ran inside. I'm romantic. I wanted to reciprocate, you know. So I got my buddy Rolando to close for me, and I sped home early, and I stopped at Walgreens. And I wasn't going to buy a razor blade to use on my junk. That's stupid. I might hurt myself. So I bought some Apple stock. Some people are chuckling. You've heard of the European hair removal solution. Apple stock comes in this itty-bitty little roll-on, like little midget deodorant. And this is more information than you want, but I had some fucking ground to cover. So I was messing with this thing for like 10 minutes. And since I'm really smart, once I was finished, that's when I read the instructions. The instructions say just do a real small patch and just leave it on for 90 seconds. And it was just like Wile E. Coyote's chasing the roadrunner and he accidentally runs across the edge of the cliff and everything's okay for a minute, but then he would look down and his dick would start to burn. And at this point, I had been a cook for years. I had had grease burns, steam burns, electrical burns, contact burns. I didn't know this. If you get a chemical burn on your junk and you put cold water on it, you can hear the burn laugh at you. So I was waiting for her to come over, and I was just laying in the bottom of a cold shower, just crying and watching my penis shrink. And, thanks for your sympathy. And she showed up, and we started kind of being amorous. And she took off her pants. She hadn't shaved anything. She had dyed it blue. She looked like the hot girl from a Japanese cartoon. I looked like I was wearing a bloody thong. Don't ask me why we broke up. I remember when we did break up, I wanted to make it a whole new chapter in my life, and I was like, from now on, new Troy. I stopped smoking, and a couple weeks later, I was talking to a couple of my friends about it. And one of my buddies asked me, he's like, how you doing, man? Without your girlfriend anymore. And the other guy's like, how you doing? Without any cigarettes. And I didn't hear the question about my girlfriend, so I was like, man, it's okay. At least my fingers don't smell weird all the time. And at the exact same time, both of them looked at me and they go, yeah, right on. I remember I went back to work, and to be fair, I was in college, at a Mexican place. I was pretty stoned. You have to understand that, otherwise the story doesn't make sense. But I had never cut myself. Never. Not on the cheese graters or the giant butcher knives or anything. I'm sitting there cooking one day, and I punctured the hell out of my thumb on a piece of shrimp, like the tail. And I was really worried, because it kind of made me worry about my spot in the food chain. Because this guy was dead and deep fried. If he was alive and kicking, and we just bumped into each other in a dark alley, I don't know if I could have taken it. But, in the kitchen, you're always fucking with each other. I noticed my friend Rolando, and I was like, oh my God, this really is authentic Mexican food. That little fucker stabbed me. He started cracking up. It turns out that people from Guatemala like Mexican jokes even more than we do. They were cussing. Is it okay if we use the dirt mouth a little bit? Can we use the dirty jokes? Yeah. Otherwise, this would be weird. Okay, so I need some help. Who knows what this thing is? What's the rhyme that goes with it? Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is a shocker. You put it in yours. It doesn't happen a lot. Maybe more now because of the holidays. It's Festivus, But it's one of those things where as soon as it does happen, you know exactly what to call it. I'll give you another example. You're out at a bar. You're with your best friend. He starts talking to a beautiful girl. So to kind of help him along, you start talking to her heavy-set friend, and it only takes one beer to get her home. That's called a Louisiana Purchase. It came from the old country. I don't understand. This is a weird one I heard. If you're having sex with a girl doggy style, and for leverage, you hang on to her sideburns. That's called a Jerusalem sleigh ride. And that doesn't even completely make sense. I mean, some people might be offended. It's from the old country. I don't even know. So you guys gotta help me with this because I had a weird thing happen. I was at a party, I was talking to a girl, we kind of went off into a side and we're kissing and being romantic, and she stopped me and she said, well, I can't have sex before I'm married because of my religion. And I was like, hey, that's cool, I totally understand. You can probably find a ride. And she's like, well, I can do other stuff. And I was like, hey, I like other stuff too, shut the door. So we're kissing, kind of making out and stuff, and she started to go down on me, and I was just like, well, I respect your faith. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. This was my first, biblically motivated blowjob. I was like, well, I don't remember anything from to Catholic school. I was like, doing to others. Remember? I'm a tall guy. I got long arms. I was like, I'll fiddle with her business a little bit. It's a polite thing to do. And I started to do that, and she slapped my hand. I was like, okay, that's fine. Slide on. And I was like, what's something a little, you know what? I'll touch your boob. It's harmless. They used to do it on Saved by the Bell. So I went to touch her boob, and she slapped my hand even harder. And this is the part that throws me off. Then she grabbed both of my hands and just planted them on the back of her head. I've dated atheist girls for years and never got a hand on the back of the head privilege. That just doesn't happen. That's handing somebody else the keys. And so I'm standing there, and I feel horrible saying this, but still fucking her. As the Lord would have it. And like, she's good at this. Like she's about to be done, you know? And I said, hey, just a heads up, we'll let you know. I'll be honest with you, I didn't say anything. Oh, St. Joseph, I can't lie to you. So then finally, Hadouken. Street Fighter 2 fans in here. But when that happened, I don't know if she laughed or if she coughed, but so my question is, what are we going to call that? When it first happened, I was just immediately like, compassionate conservative. Makes sense. So I was doing a show and somebody said, no, that's called the Angry Dragon. Somebody else said the Goo Man Shoe. My personal favorite was the Colonel Sanders. Which is cool because she was from Kentucky. But I do miss Tennessee a lot of times. When I first moved there, I kept hearing the phrase, the New South. And usually on truck commercials. And I didn't understand what that meant until I went to a good redneck bar. And I was out there drinking, and I met a buddy who was a friend of a friend. He was like, hey, what's up, dude? My name's Mike. And I was like, hey, I'm Troy. And I shook his hand. I looked at his t-shirt was ripped all the way down the front. I was like, dude, what happened to your shirt? He's like, oh, man, I was just at this other bar, and there was some dude trying to fuck with me. I had to pull a Hulkamania just to calm his ass down. I said, you had to do a Hulkamania? He said, yeah. I had to do a Hulkamania. Like I didn't get it. And it didn't so much blow my mind that you rip your shirt open because you're drunk, because people do that. I see a lot of beads. But what blew my mind is that there was another redneck who was pissed off. He was ready to fight and everything, and he saw that and was like, oh, touche. Let's leave the religion out of this. You the bigger man. And I was like, that is so sad. Because that could have been the best redneck fight ever. They would be using the folding chairs, and the one guy would have salty throat in the other guy's eyes, and the cops would show up and they would distract him like a referee, and they'd hit him in the balls, And the best part is when they're both like covered in blood and bruised and they're on the ground. And you think they're dead, it would start out real quiet and you hear this, USA. Oh, and it didn't happen. And I get weirded out sometimes when I watch TV. Like, you guys remember there was a Carfax commercial where somebody's trying to sell their car and you see this car on the side of the interstate on fire. And they're typing in the description online, they're like, fire damage, backspace. Smoke damage, backspace, new upholstery, and it's like the dinner's Carfax because they're being a clever son of a bitch. But what if there was a website and it was babysitter facts? And some ladies like type it in a resume like previous experience, and she's Eric Clapton's old housekeeper. Bear with me. She's typing in the description, previous work experience, it was really horrible, it was sad, this People either love that joke or it pisses off everybody. I've done a lot of shows with musicians. Are there any musicians in here? Good. Awesome. Seriously, if you're a comic and you're doing a show with a band, it doesn't matter. It could be Jerry Seinfeld doing a show with a 15-year-old punk band from Lawrence, Kansas. He's the one that has to go get the beers. And like, I could do shows, and this literally happened once. I was opening for this band. The band's accordion player. All of a sudden, he was like, "Hey, we're gonna start." And I was like, "Okay, do you have someone like announce me or bring me up or anything?" "Dude, I don't know. I'm in the band. I'm gonna go get another blowjob. Go do your skit." Asshole. So I open the show, and then the band starts, and they're a cover band. And bands all have their cute names and their silly names. They're called the Hellbillies. Fuckers. I was going to start a band, honestly, and it would be like a cover band. They just play like kind of hip-hop metal from like early 2000, but they're all retarded kids. And the name of the band would be Syndrome of the Downs. But anyways, so I did a show, and I'm standing in the audience like a dork. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's the guy with telling all the jokes about burning his dick." You know? And I'm sitting there watching it, and like, okay. And they started to go into this song, and they were just playing the bass line for this song. No one knew what the song was. Nobody was clapping or anything. I was like, I know that song. That's an old Ween song. Any of you guys used to listen to Ween? Yeah, it's a good band. And I was like, that's Ocean Man. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs. So I was the only one in the bar. I was like, yeah, all right, woo! And everyone turned around and looked at me, and they're like, oh my God, he knows a lot about rock and roll. That's cool. I bet he knows karate. He is awesome. And I was like, yeah. And then the song kicked in. It turns out Ocean Man by Ween has the exact same bass line as 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. So everybody in the bar turned around like, I bet that asshole loves rainbows. Hey, you guys, it's been an absolute privilege being up here for us.
Folks, remember that name. It's Troy Blackwood. Give it up for him again. We have more comedians coming up. We're going to take a little 15-minute break. Let you stretch your legs a little bit, use the restroom. Come on back here, 15 solid. We'll be right back. Get free stuff over here. Yes, get free stuff over there.